Hello and welcome to the lungs revision video from scienceworksheets.co.uk. Please like, subscribe and comment to support the channel. The gas exchange system contains several structures. So we have the trachea, which is known as the windpipe, ribs, intercostal muscles, which are sometimes also known as rib muscles, alveoli or alveolus, lung, the bronchus, bronchiole and diaphragm. The trachea provides the airway that connects the mouth and nose to the lungs. It will contain C-shaped rings of cartilage which prevents the trachea collapsing whilst breathing in. The trachea contains goblet cells that produce a sticky mucus that trap dust and pathogens from entering the lungs. Ciliated cells line the trachea. They move the mucus along with dust and pathogens up to the top of the airways, where swallowing will take the mucus down the esophagus into the stomach. Bronchus is a single, whilst bronchi is plural. The trachea splits into two bronchi before entering the lungs. Both bronchi are lined with goblet cells and ciliated cells. Bronchioles. The word ioles means a subdivision in biology, so bronchioles are subdivisions of bronchi, and these bronchioles will lead into the air sacs or alveoli. The diaphragm is a sheet of muscle that separates the respiratory system from the digestive system. When breathing in, the diaphragm contracts and flattens. When breathing out, the diaphragm relaxes and returns to its dome shape. The ribs are bone structures that are used to protect the gas exchange system. The intercostal muscles or the rib muscles. When the intercostal muscles contract, it raises the rib cage during breathing in. During breathing out, the intercostal muscles relax. Alveoli are the air sacs where gas exchange occurs. These are surrounded by blood capillaries to aid the diffusion of gases. Breathing in. The intercostal muscles contract to raise the rib cage upwards and outwards. The diaphragm muscle contracts and flattens. This means the volume of the thorax, which is the chest, will increase. Air pressure in the lungs decreases, so air moves into the lungs. Breathing out. The intercostal muscles relax, the rib cage moves downwards and inwards. The diaphragm muscle relaxes and returns to its dome shape. The volume of the thorax or the chest decreases, so air pressure in the lungs will increase and air moves out of the lungs. Understanding why air moves in and out of the lungs. Students often have difficulty with this. So we're going to look at gas pressure. Gas pressure is caused by the gas particles colliding with the walls of a container and exerting a force on those walls. If the volume of a container is made smaller, it will contain the same number of gas particles, but they will collide with the walls of the container more often, so the gas pressure increases. Let's relate this to the lungs. As the volume of the thorax decreases, the gas pressure inside the lungs increases, so it will force the air out of the lungs. Gas exchange in the alveoli. The alveoli allow gas exchange to occur, so they are adapted for this process. Once the air has been inhaled, oxygen will diffuse from the alveolus into the red blood cells. Carbon dioxide from the red blood cells will diffuse into the alveolus, and during exhalation, carbon dioxide is removed from the body. The alveoli are adapted for gas exchange. They provide a large surface area for gas exchange to occur. The alveoli have thin walls, so there is a short diffusion distance. Ventilation will replenish the air in the lungs, so that helps to maintain the concentration gradient. There is a good blood supply, so this brings deoxygenated blood and removes the oxygenated blood, so this maintains the concentration gradient. Thank you for watching. See our revision notes, the link is in the description.